doing the seniors. It's your turn, Mr. Husband. It's your turn to give advice to the seniors. Remember, we talked about this.
Good luck.
I just wanted to congratulate the classes. I don't like these things. Congratulate the class that's graduating. I want to warn you, there'll be a lot of changes in your life from now on. You're going to be big boys and big girls. 70 years ago, I was in your place. And I've seen so many changes in those 70 years. I just was thinking about them, and I wanted to mention a couple. In the first place, we were in the middle of World War II, 1943, so we had ration, and we had no gasoline to run around. So we had to ride our bicycles to come from the farm into Muncy to the movies or whatever. And it was running through my mind some of the I told you I didn't like these things. It was running through my mind about the prices that we were spending for our food and things at that time. And between my husband and I, we came up with a few facts. In 1943, we paid about 20 cents for a loaf of bread. 20 cents wouldn't even buy the wrapper now. And we went to work at Sylvania from high school, and we were paid 19 cents an hour to get started. Stamps cost 3 cents. What we pay now, 40, almost 50. You could buy a new car for about $2,000. Can't even buy the tires for that. You had to visit with a doctor, it would probably be about $3. Wow, and gas was probably about 20 cents a gallon if you could get it, but it was ration. So we had no TV, no iPads, no internet, no cell phones, and we didn't have telephones. The party line, you had to know what yours to keep an answer. You wanted to listen in on your neighbors on the same line, you would wonder any of this. We did have some fun when we got through all the years. Here we are 70 years from now. Good luck to you all.
Hello and welcome and greetings from the class of 1948. I had notes with me, but I swear this is one of the great reunions again. We've had lots of fun, the food is good, and we're lucky to have an alumni association that makes it all happen. And I think they do an excellent job and require and thanks. Now, I don't know if you noticed or you weren't paying attention, but I noticed that there are only 2 classes ahead of us. You know what that means? That means 2 more reunions and we're out of here. But 65 years ago, we had 47 really happy kids graduating from Muncy Alumni. They were jumping up and down, running out tonight we have 10 of those happy kids here, and they're still celebrating. But they're not jumping up and down. But speaking of happy kids, I know there are a bunch of them over there at that table, and we say congratulations. Good luck to each of you, and everyone, enjoy the moment.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Alumni Association for putting this little party together to celebrate the graduating seniors from Muncy High School. Congratulations. And to all the alumni that's in here, glad to see you all again. It seems like we see each other every 5 years. We started with 60 people in our class. We lost 21, still got 39 to go. Whoa. Wasn't my fault. And I was always very proud to be in the class of 53. We did some good stuff with the school, and we all stuck together very, very, very good. And a lot of these people still live in Muncy or the Muncy area. And we'd like to thank you for letting us be here with your time tonight.
First of all, I was taken back a step when we pledged allegiance to the flag and did what we did tonight. I thought I was at the Yankee ball game and taking the 7th inning stretch. Now that we can still sing God Bless America, I didn't know they could still do that in the schools, and I'm glad to see that. And I think we need more of it. So, 2013 class, it's out there in front of you. You're going to be what this country is made of, and you're going to be what happens the next 50 years. Because like that gentleman said over there, 2 more classes and they're gone, and about 10 more classes and we're gone, and there's not going to be a whole lot of us left. So as I said before, as president of the class of 1963, I would like to thank each and every one of you for welcoming us tonight. Just a few stats on the class of 63. We had 66 students, 33 boys, 33 girls. So when in gym class, I don't know if they still do it, but we always had to dance in gym class so you knew who your partner was. You just lined up, 33 down one side and 33 down the other side, and the chips let them fall where they may. That's the way it was. And another interesting fact we found out today is we toured the high school today, and it was just absolutely fantastic to see the changes and then some of the non-changes that have taken place, things that are still there 50 years later that were quite impressive. And we had a good time, and we thank Jack Ramsey and Mr. Welliver for taking us around on the tour of the high school today. It was very informative and very interesting. We had a very good time. And then we went out to Jane Johnson Cotner's house and had an indoor picnic instead of an outdoor picnic on account of the weather, and got to meet some classmates that we haven't seen in many, many years, and we were grateful for that. And in the course of the conversation, somebody said, do you know that in our class of 66, 33 boys and 33 girls, there was no classmate that married another classmate? We all had to go out of town. Well, some stayed in town, but a different year. And so that was kind of an interesting fact, too, that came about. Are any of the school teachers, I haven't seen everybody that's here tonight, but are there any school teachers here tonight that taught us in 1963? Or I know they said I left because my grandson was in the district baseball tournament from Mattersville today, and we left early. But they said Mr. Hose, and who was the other one? Mr. Jack McLean came out to the picnic, and there may be others that come out. We're having a get-together afterwards at Jane's house again tonight. There may be some more teachers coming out, but I'm kind of disappointed there aren't some here. Not that I had too many stories to tell, but we had some great, great teachers. And they were not only good teachers, but they not only cared about us in the classroom, but they cared about us out of the classroom. Stan Schuyler and Mr. Wynn and Hose and Hausnick, George Hausnick, Zakakis and Waldron and others. Mrs. Benyon, and going on and on of all the good teachers that we had. And if you see them nowadays, see them in a sporting event, or if you see them on the street or in the store someplace and you say hi to them, they still talk to you and still remember you, and that's a good sign. I guess we all weren't really, really too bad. Just a couple things on that. The worst thing we ever did in school was chewing gum, or got caught talking. And if we got caught talking, teacher drew a circle on the chalkboard and you had to put your nose in it. Well, as you can see, I didn't have very far to reach. But anyhow, that was some of the punishment we had. And George Hausnick, I don't know if any, Marty Hausnick and Doc Hausnick, it was their father was our history teacher and basketball coach. And he was a rough one. We had him for history. And if you talked in his class and were disrespectful, I remember him turning one kid upside down and sticking him in the waste can head first. Now, what would happen if anybody would ever do that today? The ACLU would be at your door. And another thing, if you fell asleep in class, he would throw a book at you and scare the living you-know-what out of you. But and we all survived. We made it through. Stan Schuyler was another one. I remember being our football coach. After football one night, he drove one of those little Beetle Volkswagens. The football players, while he was still in the locker room, a couple of them lifted it up. The linemen lifted it up. Us backs just pushed the cement blocks under the axles and put the wheels off the ground about 6 inches, and he got in. And he was a big, burly, 300-pound man, and he would start that car up, and those old tires would just spin and spin and spin. We'd be hiding around the back side of the school watching him. The cheerleaders put us up to that. Sandy Hall was in charge of it. Sandy Hall Campbell. But anyhow, we had some really good times. Okay, the other thing, in closing, I would just like to leave a couple words, or 3 things of merit, if I can leave anything, with the class of 2013. And that is, as you enter this new phase of your life, 3 things. Put God first in your life. Not just do the right thing, but do the right morally thing. Second, put your family second. If you may find a great spouse, or if you marry, find a great spouse. My wife and I have been married 47 years, and I know there's several in our class that have been married well into their 40s. So the Bible says, a man who finds a good wife findeth a good thing. And I think that goes for the men as well, if they find a woman, etc., and vice versa. So the other thing is, if you have children, enjoy your children. And I know you're going to even enjoy your grandchildren even more. I know we certainly have. We have 5, we have 3 that play baseball, wrestle, and football from Interville, and it doesn't get any better than that. So, and the last thing, and we're finding this out, at least myself and several of my other classmates that have physical problems. Most of mine were brought on by playing 3 sports in high school and 3 sports in college, and now you pay the piper. But anyhow, your health. Don't take it for granted. Take care of yourself now so someone else won't have to take care of you later. And my college football coach had always told us, he said, and I quote, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight that counts, but it's the size of the fight in the dog that counts." And it comes from within. So, in closing, fight the good fight until the Lord returns, and never, never, never give up. Go Indians.
Thanks, Mr. Rock, for filibustering. You're now going to be a new politician. Nice to see all you from 63. For the class of 1968, I would like to welcome the class of 2013 to the Muncy High School Alumni Association. We would hope you the very best in the future, and we would hope that you are successful in life. And for all the people that's already talked, and for the members of my class, as we're in the first class of baby boomers out there that are here tonight, as we enter retirement, I just sitting back here talking, and probably half of our class is retiring this year, in the last year or two. And why I say that, they had 66. This town grew. We had 94 in our class. Big growth. Wonder what World War II had to do with that. The other thing we would like, because we are baby boomers, and the selfish side of our class, and for every class member that's here before us, we hope you all go out, have great jobs, make lots of money, and particularly put a lot of money into the Social Security system. Because if you don't, we won't eat. One other thing I would like to talk a little bit. I said we had the class of 1968, we had 94 members, 52 men, 42 women. We also left a legacy here at Muncy. Every fall, for the last many, many years, there have been footprints that go up Penn Street on the way to school early in the fall. Well, about 45 years ago, about 3 o'clock in the morning, we were out with paintbrushes and a little piece of cardboard, actually it turned into a piece of plywood. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we're painting Penn Street with footprints, throwing it out of the pickup, throwing it on Penn Street. Finally, the police decided, somebody decided we would make a little bit too much noise, laughing, and having some fun. But they have continued that. So every fall, I think of it 45 years ago, at 3 o'clock in the morning, riding up Penn Street, putting out footprints, and we left that for you. So if you see the footprints, think of the class of 1968. We're the ones that left them for you. And get you back to Muncy. We should have footprints come back to the Alumni Association because we need to get people back here. We hope you go out, explore the world. And I mean explore it. You're going to see lots of things. As Aunt Frances over here said, we didn't have Xerox. We didn't have telephones that you could walk around with. We didn't have, this stuff didn't exist. Think of what you're going to see in the next 50 years. Unimaginable. We talked about reading weekly readers. Remember weekly readers? And all at once you saw you were going to be able to look at a picture of yourself while you talk to somebody on a phone. Can you imagine that? I couldn't imagine that. Do it all the time anymore. Skype it out, folks. One last thing I'd like to say. Class of 2013, go out and get it. It's a challenge out there. I know there's been around quite a few of you in the last 4 to 7 years. Some of you are pretty tough characters. One guy's headed out to a good college I know of. He's headed to my alumni out in Columbia. Good luck out there. And one of the other things I'd like to say to you, don't lose your dreams. No dream is too big, and no dream is too small. But nobody's going to give it to you. It's all about work, caring, and commitment. Whether it's work, love life, relationships, or taking care of your health and your family. Good luck to all of you, the class of 2013. I hope the class of 1943, class of 1938 are here in 5 years. It gives us 5 more years to be here. Good luck in the future to all of you.
Good evening, everyone. Back in 1973, when we graduated, I think we were a class of 106 graduates. When we graduated, it seemed like a pretty carefree, idyllic time. The cost of gas was 40 cents a gallon. The average price of a car was a little over $4,000. The minimum wage was a whopping $1.60. The average cost of a house was a little over $32,000. And your average income was $12,900. And I think importantly, we were withdrawing from Vietnam that year. We really had, when we graduated, I think, a carefree attitude toward what life was going to bring us. We progressed through the world, and we've seen in the past 40 years that many things have changed. Some are positive, some are negative. And to the class of 2013, I would give you 3 things as you set off to embark through life. Know that you're going to work extremely hard. Start saving from day one for your retirement. Chances of there being any type of Social Security or any kind of retirement pension for you 50 years from now are probably slim to none. And importantly, as people have said before, have a personal dream. Have something that you want to work towards, something that you want to have. That will make, as you work extremely hard throughout your life, things just a little more bearable, and make your life a lot happier. Congratulations and good luck to you.
So, congratulations to the class of 2013. I got to watch this class go up through the years, and it's a very competitive class, which made them all stronger individuals. And I think they will all succeed very well. The only advice from the class of 1983 is, with all that competitiveness and everything in there, just use a little common sense. I think that's all, that usually helps in this world, because use a little bit of that. So, congratulations and welcome back to 5 years. This is a great tradition, and hope you all get to enjoy it sometime. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Class of 1988. On behalf of them, I'd like to thank the Alumni Association for a lovely banquet this evening. I know it's a lot of hard work they go into, and it's greatly appreciated. I'd also like to thank the class this evening, 1988. It's great seeing you guys. There was a couple more of us, but it is great seeing you and kind of reminiscing on some things. As we gather together on this Memorial Day weekend, I think we all need to take a moment to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice and died for us, for our freedoms. So please keep that in mind over this Memorial Day weekend. The class of 1988, we actually had 93 members. We had 47 boys and we had 46 girls. To the class of 2013, congratulations on the job well done. This is one of the chapters, the end of one of your chapters and the beginning of many new chapters. Cherish the memories because they do go so fast. It's amazing how time, as you grow older, how much time just flies by. As opportunities come up, as some of the other alumni or the other committees, the other classes have mentioned, take advantage of the opportunities that come up and don't let them pass you by. And also be active in your community, wherever that may be. On behalf of the class of 1988, I wish each of you success in your future endeavors. What is success, you may ask? Success is whatever gets you closer to what you believe is important. It's different for every individual. And remember, enjoy what you do and never work a day in your life. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? First of all, I want to thank the Alumni Association for putting on men. And I want to take the time to introduce my classmates. All right, we're good? I didn't grow up in Muncy. I moved to Muncy when I was 11. My mother was an Indian. My father was a Spartan. So thank the good Lord for choosing the Indians. We all know the Spartans are the evil ones. If I could say anything, it's just cherish, this is to the seniors, cherish the people you are with every day in the classroom, in your hallways. When you move on, like I said, you may not see people again. I was looking forward to seeing some people this year. It was 5 years ago, I think one other person showed up. And the year before, one other person showed up. So, you never know, as we pass every day in the hallway, you may eventually marry one of them, which I did. It's just enjoy every part of this town, because once you move away, it's a place you'll miss. I hope one day my son will eventually go on the blue wing. Thank you.
I am Justin Nutty from the class of 2003. I wanted to thank the alumni committee for helping put this together. It's always one of my favorite things to go back for. To the seniors, congratulations. I know it's been a hard road, or at least felt like a hard road at times. I just hope that in the next 2 weeks, with all the events with your family in school, you just take a moment to reflect and think about your time in Muncy. Muncy is a special place, and I think that you see that here. The faculty, the staff, the parents create this fabric of a community that will impact your lives forever. And, as I get further removed from high school, now 10 years out, I continue to be amazed at the friendships I still maintain, the relationships I have, how that still is, on a daily basis, part of who I am. And so, just remember this is a special place. And even though you'll no longer be students in a few weeks, the alumni, the community, we're here to support and encourage you for the rest of your lives. Congratulations again. Hope to see everybody in 5 years.